My husband sexually abused our 3 daughters, impregnated them severally, and then aborted it. Story time with trendy grandmother. I will say that as a mother that I failed. I failed my children, I failed my generation, because my daughter keep coming to me to tell me that my husband, their father, was touching them, and I keep putting it off. Whether I am under any influence, I do not know. I don't even want to believe that I am under any influence, because I think I'm the most stupid woman under the sun. My husband went to Europe, spent some time in Europe, and then settled down and brought me over with our 3 daughters. My first daughter then was 13, my second was 11, while the other one was 9. I wasn't working, my husband was the one doing everything because he was still in the process of regularizing our papers. So I put myself so much in church that every time I go to night vigil, I do everything in the church and barely have time for my children, because I was believing that with going to church like that and praying, our papers will come quicker. But I noticed that each time I want to go to church, especially night vigil, my daughters will want to follow me, and I will tell them, stay at home. They will be crying that they want to go with me. I will just feel that these children, they just don't want to give me a break. After about 2 years of us joining my husband, my daughter will come and tell me, Mom, there's a way Daddy touches me, and once she wants to say it, I will give her a dirty slap and say, you want to ruin my marriage. One of the days I confronted their father and was like, can you imagine what this girl is saying? The father was like, you know these girls of nowadays, she's probably watching all these bad videos, and maybe that is influencing her actions. I will just believe my husband, and this thing continue going on. One day, as time goes on, because my children keep growing, my first daughter was 16. One of the days, they left the house, got on the train, and went into another country. They spent some time there. I called them. They said they were with their grandmom. That's my husband's mother. My husband's mother was staying in another European country with my husband's sister. These were the people that my children went to. But I later realized that they went to tell them what was happening in our home. And then they told my children that they shouldn't tell anybody. If they tell anybody, their life will end. So my children now came back and the abuse continued. A time came, according to my children, they get pregnant. I don't even know. My husband will give them some pills. Where he got the pills, I do not know. He probably got it from Africa, because in Europe, they're not going to give him such pills. So he keep giving them pills. Cut the long story short, my big daughter went into college, met this guy, and then they did everything and came for marriage. So later on, this guy broke up with my daughter. And then I asked my daughter why. My daughter said that the guy heard that my daughter was having an affair with her father, and that's why the guy left my daughter. I was like, what do you mean? So are you saying that this thing you're saying is true? Then my daughter said, you are the only one that doesn't know. The neighbors and everybody, they know about it. Still, I went to confront my husband. My husband still denied. So after a few months, one of our friends who had been sick for a while died, and we went for the funeral. So as we went for the funeral, they were telling people who want to say 1 or 2 things to come and say something. And my daughter, my big daughter, she was 18 then, raised her hand up and said she wanted to say something. So she now started to narrate there everything that my husband had been doing, how my husband had been sleeping with her and had two siblings and how he had been giving them pills. So the people there called the police, and the police came and then got my husband. I passed out. That was when the scale fell off my eyes, because all along I did not believe them. My daughter, when she was interviewed, said that she thought that after saying that she would die, because that was exactly what my husband told her siblings. That was what my husband's mother and sister told her, that if she ever say it to anybody, that she's gonna breathe her last. So she now decided to use that opportunity to say it, because her fiancé had disappointed her and she wanted to, like, that's the only way for her to leave this world. So she now started to confess. At the moment, my husband is in prison. I don't know when he will come out. That is, if he will come out, because I want him to rot there. But the thing is that my children have refused to forgive me. And I cannot even forgive myself.